Catchup!
Alright, Davis didn't sneeze. But we're back though.
It'll happen.
So anyway, you were in Atlanta.
Well, on the way and back from Atlanta.
You
I don't remember which one it was.
Investment conference or something.
Yeah, it was like an investment seminar thing. It was like 20 hours of like lecture over a few days. So and that's in total. The last day we stayed there for literally like 2 hours. So those previous 2 days were like we got there at 8, we left at 9:30 p.m. with some breaks for eating.
Jesus Christ. Was it fun? Was it helpful?
It was helpful.
Knowledgeable?
The guy that was the face of it, super unhelpful.
Oh, neat.
But
God.
the people
you're better. Oh, you killed me. You blew me up.
Worth it.
It was actually. I was gonna die anyway, probably.
But he's literally just like the millionaire face guy. And he's just like does not know how to teach what he knows. Also, he's like super offensive.
Neat.
He like has stories that he thinks are like fun to tell to a huge group of people that he doesn't know at all. And it's like you really should like maybe have an idea of what these people think and their opinions before you would say stuff like that.
I'm not gonna say it's like racial, but it's like that thing that happens a lot in the South, which is where we are. Where it's like if you're in a room full of older white people, they'll look around and then they'll just tell a racist joke, and it's like you're okay with this.
Absolutely,
you're white. Oh God, I picked up that health. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I say it with a tone that clearly shows that like it's not fine. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Well, it is, but I was saying is that kind of situation where it's like you guys will love this, but you didn't.
Yeah, he thought he was hilarious.
That's pretty interesting.
And it was a real mixed bag. Like some people were like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the other half were clearly very uncomfortable.
Good.
But yeah, it was stuff about like, I mean like Delta Airlines is great, but have you ever been to like the Singapore Airlines? Like they don't care about...
You can fuck as many children as you want.
They don't care about PC stuff. Like he's like the outfits they wear. Whoo shoot like
woo shoot.
Woo shoot.
Oh man.
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez, man. Oh jeez.
He's like they wear like body paint.
What? The fuck?
Yeah.
Is he just saying like that's how tight their stuff is, or they literally wear body paint?
No, it's a literal body paint.
Why?
Because they know because as he puts it, they really know how to serve a man. And he talked about how like they're because he's a rich motherfucker.
He sounds like a real.
The plane was like it had beds.
Okay.
So he was like getting in bed and everything. And
wait, just a second. Here we come. All right, sorry. Wait, I got these guys. Ha ha, Gimli.
Look at us doing the things that are more appropriate for us.
Yeah, for once. Way to pick it up. Me.
But yeah, he was like, he has a wife. Her name's Melissa, I think.
Oh,
I just called her Pony Girl because she was like an Olympic equestrian.
Oh, I thought it was going to be for furry reasons, and I got real excited.
No.
I didn't actually
know. But he was like, yeah. Then they like tucked me into bed, and then they looked over at Melissa and completely ignored her. He's just like,
what a bitch.
Just like constant things like that.
That's annoying.
And honestly, it's like it doesn't even sound as bad as it was when I'm retelling it.
It was real bad.
Yeah, I think body language and tone and everything and choice of words went a long way in terms of like making it really getting across just how bad it was. Anyway, all of that to say, Pickle and I had a lot of opportunity to talk this past weekend. And you were saying how you were super not okay with like if a Trump supporter was like, oh, he had like a lot of things that he promised and he's not delivering. He had like read a study or something.
Damn it, I knew I should have fucking finished.
He read a study of something that like confirmed something that we clearly both just inherently knew, but didn't necessarily like put words to it. It's like if you're trying to convince someone like that Trump is terrible. Yeah. Like someone that's voted for him. And that we need to like unite in order to move forward and stuff. The best way to do it is to, in the conversation, sort of give them an out. Yeah. As to why they did what they did. Yeah. So even if you don't necessarily completely believe, like, oh, like his policies were things that make it sense for you to have supported, or not even like that, but like that you could see someone thinking, oh, this is beneficial for me.
Right.
Even if you don't agree
honestly,
that they were beneficial for that person, if you can say something like, oh, I see how you thought that the policies that he promised were going to be good for you, and he's just not delivering. But how could you have known?
Yeah, I get that. Here's my thing.
Then they're less likely to be defensive.
That makes sense, and that's fine.
I mean, yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm not gonna be a complete dick to people, but I've also lost my tolerance for that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the whole, and I know this is it's kind of like the whole, you just do that and I'll get these guys.
Yeah, okay. I just realized that there's actually infinite ammo here.
Yeah. Oh, neat.
I think at least.
But it's one of those things where it's like, and I know this is a comparison you can't make anymore, but whatever. Or it's like you're not supposed to make now. It's like take it for what I'm saying and not the full context. It's like Hitler in Europe, where they did that thing where they were like, you can have this, but don't do any more. And they kept doing it. Or if you want to go the other route, it's like they came for the this, they came for the that, and I didn't speak up, all that blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of compromising on certain things because I feel like it gets compromised and then it gets... Like, compromise happens, but then things get compromised, if that makes sense.
Oh, sure. I mean, personally, I agree with you. So, yeah. I'm also past the idea of having that sort of language and talk.
Yeah.
But I do objectively think if your goal ultimately is only...
If your goal is that.
Yeah. Yes. Then
that's
probably the most pragmatic approach.
Right.
Is that something that I'm actually going to be using?
Right.
No. I'm just not at a point where...
Right.
Is this really the way to do this, or do we need to go down or something?
I think this is the way to do this.
This is a long time.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to end up being not the way.
I mean, technically, we could sit here and do this. We got 20 more hours.
I mean, we're talking about stuff, so fuck it.
Yeah, that's true. Come here. But yeah. We also had a discussion about... I'm not going to say it got heated, but it was clear that both of us were...
But you guys always do that, and it's not a bad thing.
We got annoyed with each other. And it's always over something that's like literally just selection of words.
Right.
Because that's just what we do.
Right.
We're just like nitpicky little fucks.
What's the word? Pedantic.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, going into the conversation, I even outlined the fact that, like, it was just his choice of words. He said something where he was like, absolutely 100%, and I said, well, I don't.
Well, that's
bad.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that around me. Almost ever. It had to do with basically, he was in a situation because he was a part of running a campaign recently.
Right, I remember.
Where they were trying to decide on, in an ad that they were going to run, if they were going to put in stuff about the opponent and like their stance on... Yeah, not so much that as like the opponent's stance on... Well, I guess in a way it is. Stance on the Confederate flag. And they had asked some people that were part of the campaign, and some of those people were white and some of those people were black. Mm-hmm. And it was actually 6 of them. Half of them were white, half of them were black. And the 3 white people present, Pickle included, were super all about it. Like they liked the idea of confronting the idea of like the Confederate flag being a hot topic and recognizing it and all that blah blah blah. And the 3 black people,
like the Mississippi state
were
flag,
super sort of like
the state of Mississippi's flag or the Confederate
yeah.
So for anybody who isn't in
Mississippi,
this is a very easy to understand issue. I mean, it's easy to understand, but it's a very like, well, obviously this is happening issue if you're in Mississippi. If you're not, it's a little bit, you might not know about it. Our state flag is the only state in the nation, the state of Mississippi, that still has the like Confederate battle flag, whatever it's called, on it in some way, and people is bad.
Are the enemies just done coming?
Apparently.
So we probably have been just wasting time over here, haven't we?
Perhaps. But anyway, the white folks were all for saying...
Yeah. I don't remember all the exact context, whatever.
Right.
But the point being, he was like, well, whenever there's a situation where there's an issue that clearly affects a minority more than it does the majority. So in this case, with this issue of Confederate flag and the black community,
that offensiveness and
how that clearly involves them more heavily than it would a white person, which I mean that's a topic in and of itself,
right?
I know I did not let that just go, like, but I'm like willing to.
I think it's this way.
I'm willing to like take that as a
It is not.
As something we're assuming.
Yeah.
He said that whenever you're at a standstill like that, you as the majority, like he was in this situation, should accept the opinion of the minority involved 100%. And
yeah, this is where we're supposed to be, by the way.
I mean, like, I have lots of issues with that statement. Because it completely destroys the idea of an individual's opinion.
Right.
Like, it's literally just like, well, this person who's in the minority in this issue is present and has an opinion that is different from mine. So I have to accept
this is getting into a whole fucking
which to me
huge can of worms.
Oh, it is.
That I kind of want to... We may go into, like, next episode or something. It's almost two sides of the same coin. Because there's...
To me, it's
There's a member of my wife's family who is... He's very racist. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to name names or anything. I don't care for the man. People know this. This is fine. At one point, we were having a conversation. He believes that... And I'm going to use his words. Nobody quote me on this. I know people are going to quote me on it because that's the fun of the internet.
You said it. It came out of your mouth.
But this is, quote, what he said. Blacks are not able to govern themselves. Those are literal. That's a literal sentence that came out of his mouth. I don't agree with it for many reasons. In a way, I feel like what some people do, they don't mean to. They mean well. But they almost go the opposite way, and it's almost racist. Now, what Pickle's saying, where it's like, it's almost the opposite direction, but like, there's some people who do this thing where, like, say a black person, for example, is not offended about the Confederate flag thing.
Sure.
They'll say, well, you should be.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're
like, well, I'm offended for you. It's like, well,
yeah,
that's... I know this is a different situation, but it just got it in my mind.
We touched on that.
It's like, that's kind of racist in and of itself. Like, well, you don't get to decide.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that you should be offended.
I personally feel that Pickle's stance on it, just from us having discussed it at depth, I don't...
You know, it's real fun waiting for arrows to spawn.
Yeah.
Let's just go this way and see if we can find somewhere else.
I don't know.
Can we go this
Based on what he's saying, I know the intention isn't malicious.
Well,
but
sure, because he's not
it's like trying to help to the point where
it's... They respawn when they leave. Sorry. I know you're telling a story, but I'm just trying to move this.
It seems like it's trying to help to the point where it's almost...
There it is.
I don't know if patronizing is the right word.
It kind of is, yeah.
But you can see sort of the vein of thought that I'm going with. Like, it's...
Sure.
You shouldn't just immediately assume that a person's opinion is more valid than yours simply because they're a part of a demographic that is more historically affected by that issue.
Right.
Like, and it's fine if you think that you should listen to their opinion because it's got, you know, a potential to shed light on it. But, like, to just assume, like, oh, well, that completely overrides my opinion, mine no longer matters now.
Yeah.
That's just, like, to the point of... That's not helpful. You need to trust your own opinion and your ability to hold other people's opinion in a high enough esteem in order to judge it fairly. So, I don't know. I had a lot of issue with it. Especially just the word... If he had just used the wording more often than not, or the most of the time, or... But saying 100%
and once again, you guys are both fucking pedantic assholes.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's fun sometimes. I feel like he probably meant that, but once he said it, I can almost guarantee he said always, you called him on it, and then he said, well, I'm fucking sticking with it now.
Probably.
Because that's how you guys are. which is funny. It's fine, but like he may have meant from the start. Well, sometimes. But if you're like, I don't like that you said. Like, I don't know if you said it or not. But if you say, I don't like that you said always, he's like, fuck that guy. Well, I mean always.
The thing is, like at that point in the conversation, it wasn't like we weren't disagreeing, and all I said was, well, I literally just said I could see how one would feel that it's the case the majority of the time, but I don't know if I would agree if you mean it this way that it's 100% of the time, and he just doubled down on it. So it is what happened, but I don't think the language I used or the tone I was using called for you to stand your ground.
Right. So this is going to be a little bit. We're going to finish this on the next episode. Maybe we'll get it done. Who knows? We'll see.
All right.
Bye.
Sorry. I apologize to everyone.
No, this was a good discussion. Sorry about the whole fucking waiting for arrows to respawn thing. Christ.